on Goldman Railway, unless I'm like mistaken, and we're just sitting on power cell. But yeah, it definitely does, and something maybe Infused need to learn from, because they do seem to have very strong starts and do quite well, but they just seem to slip away eventually. And I think that's something at MYM really haven't had to suffer at all.
Well, the thing is also, we've seen a lot of teams, not necessarily the likes of UMAV or anybody like that, but I would say the likes of Fnatic. Sometimes when they get into a match, they start a little slow. It's almost like a steam engine. They're building up the steam, they're building up the pressure until literally it explodes on you from all directions and you don't know where to go. So I don't know whether or not it means that the teams that don't necessarily play that, in the likes of UMAV, for example, that we've seen play, means that you've got to try and get as far out ahead of the train of death, so to speak, before they start coming back at you. So I don't know. What's your thoughts on that?
It's definitely a thing, but MYM just seem to be quite comfortable playing from behind a lot, and they do it, and I just don't get it sometimes. They're just like a consistent team, something obviously I've said about MYM before, but they kind of lost it, but I think we're actually live here.
Yeah, I think we may be. So we're just looking as the two teams starting to make pushes out. It looks like the A point is going to be taken by Matt and Flax. And let's see, you've got Infused, Pesty and Enkel. They're going to be sniffing around that B point. Now, the trouble is it means that Infused Tom is the only person who is going to be defending that C point. He's just had a teammate spawn on him, so they're going to try and get some defences in there and at least get a little bit of fire going into that point, because they want to try and get that B and C hold, which is all important for this team. So Infused Revo looks like he's moving over towards the B point by the School Rock and the packages, and he looks going to be trying to sniff over, look for an all-important kill, and we'll just have to wait and see it. It looks like that's what happened. Flax got shut down at the B point, and it looks like at the moment we're looking at MYM settling down for what may be an A and a C hold, but no, it looks like they've had quite a serious spawn outside of the C area, and this is an opportunity for Infused to lock down the school building and to also lock down the C flag.
Yeah, and they got to be very careful on these kind of spawns, not to get bitten in the ass from behind, because that generally just seems to happen on these kind of maps, and that's something we've seen already today against Dignitas. That spawn is just so prevalent on C.
Yeah, it is indeed. Now, for those of you who are any commentators or casters out there watching, obviously aware that I do like to use the free cam, my recommendation to you guys is, because when you click on the view menu, or the click on the left mouse button to go into the guy's eyes, bind your right mouse button to the free cam F4, because it immediately enables you to go straight out of their eyes and back to the free cam. So I cannot recommend that more highly enough. And let's find out what's going on, because right now it looks like Infused are going for an A and a C hold and seem to be quite happy with not putting a huge amount of pressure onto that point. And we're looking at the A point at the moment, and you can see it looks like MYM are starting to push in towards that point, and they're having a little bit of trouble maybe holding it, because you've got other members of there's Enkel, who looks to be, he's just waiting for the inevitable, which is that shows great patience, great maturity as a player, that he literally didn't push into that point because he knew he would be outgunned, and he just waited for somebody to poke their nose around the corner, and he basically shot it off them.
Yeah, and that's something that's going to become seriously a big problem if you do something about it. I mean, patience on this map can be key, and right now, even though MYM have the A and C, Infused have a good possibility of being able to jump onto the C flag quite quickly and just overwhelm it. I mean, this is a very close-fought game already, and maybe one of the best matches we're going to see tonight.
Yeah, now we're looking at CG Matt. He's in here, obviously, and he is in the process of pushing in pretty hard onto Infused, as they are trying to defend the school building, or one of the school buildings, the bunker, I suppose you could say, in here. And it looks like Hadouken's been taken down, and Pesty's there with him. So Hadouken's and Pesty working together as a duo, and you can see now that it's looking pretty good for MYM. They've got the C point held down. You've also got another guy up on one of the buildings, offering a little bit of support. So you can see MYM Waffy up there with the Ace 23, hoping to get a very important pick, as you can see the team starting to transition. But now you can see the point in A going back towards the Infused team, and now what you're going to see is a rush from MYM probably down towards the A to try and see if they can get that, but Infused are going to try and stop them midfield. Dogbert.
Yeah, and that B house is going to become such an important one now. It's a jump off. I think that was Pesty jumped off a B flag and got caught out in midair there. And you know, this is a very close game right now. No one's took a massive lead, and Infused are probably looking a little better at this very moment. But this is a back and forth game, and no one's really imposed their will just yet. And I think this is we're just going to see these two teams having these close fought games over and over again. I mean, MYM pushing this B flag like this, but they're not able to break in quickly. But with the control of B house that Flex has taken right now, that might be the deciding factor.
Yeah, as it looks like members of MYM being taken down, and Ducky Chan getting absolutely air-conditioned as the defence of the B point by Infused. Now, I'm surprised that there's not more destruction being done here right now. Safe got back raised by Hadoukens there, and I'm really surprised that we're not seeing a lot more destruction. The grey building overlooking, the bunker overlooking the school building has not been demolished in any kind of way, and I find that surprising because we've seen both of these teams do exactly that kind of strategy. Obviously the building overlooking A is going to be one of the most important areas, and that is being guarded by Revo. So Revo's checking those areas, he's looking for those choke points, he's going to make sure he doesn't get snuck up on, and he's going to try and actually defend that point, maybe in through one of the buildings, and that's a key point. I mean, I've actually played in a scrim with the Infused guys where I pretty much spent most of my time in the backyard, and if you've got a guy who stays back there, one of the most important things is you can actually stop the spawns coming in from MYM near the A point and force them to stay out in the cold, Dogbert.
Yeah, and but right now, to be honest, Infused are doing quite a good job. I mean, they just got wiped out of B, and obviously that's not desirable at all. But they're still keeping people alive at A, and that means that they can still pretty much pressure that B flag whenever they need it. But they need to be careful right now because building control is solely in MYM's control in the most important places, which is over B and over C. And they do not want a situation where they're basically locked into just one flag. And that is kind of what's happening now. As you've seen Matt sneaking around that A flag and locking them down to a defensive battle.
Now, we're looking through the eyes of Safe, and he's actually in that bunker overlooking the school area, so he is obviously trying to hold that point down and at least act as a sort of a spawn point for his team at that area. So if we can find out what's going on now as we look over, and it looks like they're actually trying to clear somebody out of a building. So we've got Waffy who's sniffing around looking for an opportunity. We've got another member of Infused who's actually in the building, and that's Enkel. Now, this is Enkel basically being patient, waiting for an opportunity to get an all-important kill. And now you can see here the members of MYM trying to defend the B point, but now look at this, a massive rush here by Infused, as there we go, down goes Safe, as well as he managed to stop Hadoukens, but fortunately for him his teammate Pesty was nearby. Pesty is actually now starting to push in towards the bunker building, and now this is looking pretty strong as far as Infused are concerned. They've got an A and a B hold, that's probably the easier out of the two. They can form that line of defensiveness against MYM, and MYM really need to get in there, get up close and personal, and start killing people, Dogbert.
Yeah, Pesty though there, sitting in that B house, really should have played a bit of smart game, trying to get a pick on it, but as soon as he goes down, opens up the B flag for capture, Tom getting the kill on Flex, which means that there is some pressure they're important to see here, but they've lost control of the courtyard at the B flag, and now it's Infused to have to attack what was a safe flag for them.
Yeah, so now you can see as Nade's going in, as we're following Enkel as he's making his way in, gets shut down, goes flying. That's Safe doing his work. And it looks like Pesty's in there as well, going after Ducky Chan, and Safe with a double kill by Pesty. That's a key moment, manages to get his teammate Enkel back up and running, and that basically means that's a domination cap by Infused against MYM, and MYM now have a serious problem. They need to turn this around as quickly as they can, and they are being shut out and held back at the C point. And I have to say, Infused doing a reasonably good job here with the defensive structure and the line that they've actually trying to form. You've got one guy moving forward, Hadouken's basically in as a harasser. You've got Enkel moving out on the sides and the flanks, and you've obviously got Revo and Infused Tom, who are also in here, trying to do as much damage, get an all-important pick on them as Revo gets taken down. So it means that the line is starting to get a little bit shaky right now, Dogbert.
Yeah, and this is what they needed. But they got to be careful on B. Once again, Pesty goes down, caught out position, and that flag's just going to get turned over. And it's just Hadouken by himself, one of the best British players, but he just gets drilled immediately. Even I'm stealing your catchphrases now. That was from Matt, actually, quite surprising. But this is a position they don't want. They've got a bit of a lead here, so they need to be very careful. They want to keep this going. But without control of that B house and Waffy and Safe overlooking, they need to move in quick or get the picks. And just Safe by himself. Revives are coming in. Spawn, sorry. That's going to be a two-man defense from that. Matt's down. Safe once again by himself. And this might be the chance. He's just getting so many kills. Infused have to be careful here. They're sucked in so many people to take this B flag here. They're going to lose A. They need to win big at B or this is going to end real bad for them.
And Safe getting a third and maybe even a fourth kill here as we watch him. He's making his way in and it looks like he's shut down any attempts there by Infused to hold that point. Enkel managing to go in and get a double kill behind the back of Safe. So Safe in a pretty strong position. He's got to watch out. And he is in a very dangerous position. And another kill. Holy crap. Safe is on fire. That is fantastic play by him. And now, as you were saying, a very dangerous situation. Because now you can see the bleed is against Infused. And it looks like MYM now have the flag at the school building. And this is going to be an important hold for them. They want to try and hold it. They want to try and get those tickets down as much as they possibly can. And basically put the pressure onto Infused so that they are running scared from MYM.
And like I said, this game is going to be close, but Infused lost that B flag when really they should have had that hammered down a lot tighter. And it just comes down to being in the right position at the right time. And right now you can see those spawns coming in from MYM. They know where the hammer is going to fall. And it's only Matt once again by himself, and he trades. But that works out better for Infused because they're going to be able to take this B flag here. And I don't know exactly how MYM can respond, except from trying to push that flag over at C. But Revo goes down. I don't know where that kill came from. Maybe Ducky-chan over at A. And that stopped the capture and maybe bought enough time for MYM to salvage the situation here.
That was Waffy, actually. Waffy was basically looking through the window with Ducky-chan backing him up on the stairwell. And so he got an important kill as they were trying to take that point. And now we're following through the eyes of CG Matt as he's sniffing around the A point. Now, as you can see here, the bleed is continuing. It's 60 tickets to 55 and it's getting very close now. What is MYM going to do? You can see here that the defense of the building here by Revo, we're going to follow him as he takes down one of the enemy and pops out those beautiful nades off the side of the windowsill. Fantastic stuff going on. Is he going to risk a revive? No, he can't get Hadoukens in time, unfortunately, and he is literally the only man defending that point. But it looks like what happens is Infused has actually gone for a massive defend, or a massive attack, I should say, onto the C point as nades coming into Infused Tom. He's going to watch his back for exactly that reason. He gets cut down and the flag ownership is going to change almost immediately at the C point. And I think part of the issue is that that was a 3 versus 2 as far as MYM were concerned, and they had that advantage and managed to take down a few people. But we're moving over to Hadoukens. Hadoukens going to be sniffing around the A point, and this could be a problem here for Infused. They could literally let this match slip away from them in this first half, Dogbert.
Yeah, and this one's going to come right down to it. Flag's pushing on that B flag. This is Infused a chance, though, to take a bit of a lead here. I mean, the mid flag is definitely up in the air right now, but with that control of that B house, they can drop off quite quick. Infused's got to play smart here. They're going for randomized spawns as Tom spawns up there, far away from the source of the action here, and there's a trade. It's going to be huge for MYM. Everyone on the B and A buildings are down, and right now this is the chance for MYM to take a lead here. They have B, they have C, they've just got wiped out at A, but they are respawning in perfect places right now to keep this ticket bleed going. Yeah,
and that's really what they've got to do. They've just got to hold their nerve, hold their position, and just basically wait and let the ticket bleed do its work. So we're watching through the eyes of Flax. He sees his teammate Ducky-chan down by the C point. Revo also managing to catch a bullet from Safe. And let's see if we can move out and find out what's going on. You can see Infused actually on the top of the buildings. They're over by the A point. That's Tom as well. And you've obviously got another member Pesty, and I think that they really need to start pushing up towards that B point. If they can't get that skull back as quickly as possible, they're going to have a problem. But they're going to have a problem anyway, because Flax is the man who's defending that point, and you've also got another man moving up on the left-hand side, and that's CG Matt with a nice kill into Pesty on the top of that building. And that means now that they can then start putting a little bit of pressure onto the A point, and the tickets are starting to disappear for Infused. This could be a very tricky situation, but as you said, it's not outside of the realms of possibility that they can actually pull it back. As we're now looking at a pistol fight. Pistols at dawn, and Infused Tom against Ducky Chan. Unfortunately, Infused Tom gets taken down. So we're now looking at 27 tickets to 10 right now. And MYM Ducky Chan is holding on to the A point, but it looks like Infused have actually, let's just say, they've committed quite a few troops to that B take, and it could work out bad for them. We'll have to wait and see as more grenades come flying in, as Safe doing his lovely number with the grenade party, but he gets taken down. More nades coming in, and out comes Flatch's nades, trying to go for that little area. As you can see, Enkel has been finished off. 18 tickets to 7 at the moment. It's down to the last few moments, and it looks like Pesty getting a few very important kills. And we're looking at Enkel. Holy crap.
Everyone from MYM dead, and this is going to happen, and Pesty Infused is going to go for the A flag as well. What has looked like MYM were going to take this map is now going to be a full domination cap for Infused here, and as long as they can keep hold of one of these flags, they're going to win this one. Wow, this is coming right down to it, Chad.
It is, and it looks like MYM have committed to going in for the C point, as the final 2 tickets are starting to disappear, and MYM, wow. Holy crap.
5 tickets.
That
right
was
at the end there.
That was Pesty and Revo taking down the entire lineup of MYM in the last few seconds of the map. That was a clutch play. That's exactly the kind of thing that you'd expect to see, and that's what won them that round, Dogbert. 5 tickets the difference.
Yeah, 5 tickets a difference, and Enkel was looking at the B flag for ages. He was trying to work out, like, is there a defender? You know, if there is, you're just going to get naded out and killed. So he had to be very, very careful. And they decided, right, well, we got no chance. We got 10 tickets left. I need to jump in there anyway. And that's where it all went wrong for MYM. They tried to stop that capture of B, but they just slowly but surely just got picked off. Nades coming into that small B house, and eventually Infused got all the kills, and as soon as they got all the kills, they got all the flags, and that bleed. Wow, 5 tickets though, but they were behind by a lot there, like 35, 40 tickets.
About that, yeah. It was pretty close down to the wire there, and like I said, clutch moment. Pesty and Revo must have been absolutely grinning from ear to ear after that moment, as that was a turn it around moment as far as they were concerned. And one thing to bear in mind, obviously, you can see the spawn point has not changed, as the members of the Chinese team still spawned right next to a EOD. Or it's not, no, an IED, I should say, not an EOD. So, anyway, it looks like we're getting ready as it's into the next round of first map. Am I correct in thinking it's best of 1, best of 3? Perhaps you can clarify that for me, Mr. Dogbert.
I believe it's best of 1 up until the final, but I will check just in case.
Okay.
But yeah, I think it's best of 1 up until the final.
So now we're looking at Infused moving out from their spawn. As you can see, standard fan movement and a very, very aggressive push coming in from Safe. And he's going to be looking for an opportunity to get an important pick, as he is unfortunately now surrounded by members of Infused. So if anyone can handle himself, it's Safe. There we go. There's a little bit of fire coming in as Pesty managed. I don't even know how Pesty. He must have actually jumped on there from one of the other roofs. But it doesn't matter, because Safe gets taken down. And now it looks like an A and a C hold here by members of Infused, and this is an opportunity here for them to literally take that and hold it. But as we've seen so many times on this particular map in the previous half, is that it can turn, it literally swings back and forth in so many ways, Dogbert.
Yeah, but really a strong start so far for Infused. They're going to capture this B flag. Ducky Chan's still around, and there will be some reinforcements coming in, but off the bat, what usually starts as a few ticket bleed against, they managed to turn it around, and they're doing a great job right now.
That they are. So we're in with Duckinator, the duck man himself, and we're following him as he is trying to pressure the B point. And you can see that there's a gun sticking out, and he's got to be very careful, because he's in danger of getting taken down. So he's going to continue trying to push that point. You can see him trading a little bit of fire with one of the other members of Infused, as it looks like, there we go, Pesty gets finished off by Safe, but it's this guy up on the top here that's causing them a few problems, and that's Revo. So Revo's obviously spamming out those nades. He's also working and trying to cover that A point and anybody who's coming from the C to the A, and unfortunately Revo goes down.
It's going to get to the point right now where, oh my god, Infused have got a player down. Worst thing ever happened. It's Enko as well, their new player.
No.
They need to keep its bleed going as long as possible. It is Pesty by himself. But yeah, this is not the position you want to be in for Infused, especially when they are ahead like this. Wow, definitely not looking good for them right now, as they're getting bullied off that B flag, but they're just completely outnumbered.
Indeed. Now, ironically enough, we were talking about that there was a lack of damage in this particular map, and then all of a sudden Safe comes in with a rocket launcher and basically does a little bit of restructuring work. So you can see now, I think that what they are is they're determined that that school building is going to be more difficult for their opposing number to actually defend. So it looks like two members of Infused are in the process of... Yeah, they got shut down at that point at A, and now Matt is in the process of trying to capture that A point, and that's going to be a full domination cap. Now, the trouble is Infused are going to have pressure on them. As you can see, MYM starting to spawn in, and there we go. Now you're going to have a attempt at a grab by Infused, as we're looking through the eyes of Waffy as well. And there's the domination cap, as expected. Waffy goes down, and Flax manages to finish off Hadoukens as they were trying to capture that point. So this is going to be a dangerous situation now, as far as Infused are concerned. And they are really not having a good time right now. They have lost one of their players, but now they're starting to push in quite seriously as Revo gets finished off as well. Pesty's been killed, and now you can see them continuing to fire against it. Looks like Flax. There's Flax going in, gets a bit of a hit coin, and gets exploded, with Safe getting a fantastic team kill onto Flax, blowing up that building to stop the defense. And, oh, I can only imagine the comments being made in their team speak right now, Dogbert.
Yeah, there's an explosive barrel at sea, and that's what the grenade blew up, and yeah, took a few of the MYM guys with it. That was beautiful. Right now, Enkel back into the games, and the tickets, to be honest, are pretty even right now, so it's not completely out of Infuse's hands, but they were in a dominant position when that crash happened, so yeah, that's a shame for them. They just got shut down on that A push. Right now, no one's got a bleed, though, so this is a chance for Infused maybe to rush in quickly. There's no one at B right now. If they move quick enough, they can re-establish the hold they had before their crash, and maybe resurrect what could have been a dimming chances to win the first map.
Yeah, and it looks like one of the members of Infused got shut down as he's moving into the school building. Here, of course, is Safe, Scourge of the B point, and there we go, proving the point, taking down Hadoukens, but unfortunately being shot as he moved in, and that was Revo doing his job from the rock, getting his rocks off quite literally and taking down Safe as he tried to move in towards the B point. So, more grenades coming in from the likes of Infused, and you can see Flax now and Safe starting to move up towards the B point. Pesty's been taken down, and the trouble is they're starting to force the issue as Revo. Oh, this is going to be nasty for them, and there we go. That was such a bad spawn, unfortunately, for Pesty. Came in round the corner and got air conditioned courtesy of MYM Flax. So it looks like now the B point is going to change ownership very quickly indeed. And now let's see what Infused are going to do. I think they're going to start putting a little bit of pressure onto the A point with a couple of guys maybe guarding the C point. We'll have to wait and see how they decide to work it. But the reaction from MYM is what will tell the difference on this particular map, Dogbert.
Yeah, just watching Ankle. Two-man kill already, taking down two of the attackers onto what would have been a C push, but both Ducky-chan and Matt goes down. Ankle picking his time to fire there and got away with it, and that bleed is continuing right now for Infused, and all these spawns that MYM are taking, which are random, are all far away. They're near C, but they're still far outside of the actual fight, but this gives Infused chance to overrun B, and that's what they're doing.
I think part of that might be to do with Revo actually staying at near the A point. Means that because he is actually staying back there, it means they're not going to have any spawns around the A point, so they're actually forcing MYM to stay outside and by the C point, and actually trying to control those spawns at least to a certain degree, Dogbert. Do you think that's fair?
Yeah, and stuff like that plays dividends, especially if you can contain their spawns in places you know of.
There we go. The Safe what's the word I'm looking for? The safe rejigging expert has just arrived, and as you can see, he's just taken down the wall that's around the B point. So Safe doing a great job of essentially destroying the entire map. There we go, he's back again, and ladies and gentlemen, yeah, that's what can I say. This man does like his restorations and explosions. So you can see them now. They're in the process of trying to hold that B point. Now the problem is, obviously, it means that that particular area where they were standing means that it's going to be a little bit more difficult for them for cover. The bunker area where the school building is located has also been air conditioned quite significantly, which means it's going to be more difficult for the teams to defend that B point. Maybe that's what MYM are hoping for, and they're hoping that their big hitters can do the damage when it comes to getting into that point. But the A and the B is currently being held by MYM. The B is now in the process of being contested, and the C point is being held, albeit shakily, by the members of Infused, Dogbert.
They've got the flags they need, and they're holding down this building control mainly to just trying to pick off some easy kills. I don't think Revo's going to be aware, though, that he might have a safe on the roof. So that's going to cause... Sorry, it's Tom, by the way, over at C. So he's going to have a bit of trouble. And that's what I love about FreeCam. I ain't sitting tabletop all day, but I wouldn't be aware of how the hell he got onto that roof otherwise. They're able to, with that building control, though, to jump onto flags like A and B quite quickly. Like, C's a flag, it really, to be honest, it's so hard to keep a hold of anyway. So they're focusing on the important ones, which is B and A. And I think that's Infuse's goal, really.
We're looking through the eyes of Enkel at the moment. I love this new ability to literally click on the player to go to his first person. It makes such wonderful sweeping camera shots where you fly towards the player and then literally pop straight into his head. It's fantastic. Really enjoying that.
Forever the cameraman, Chad.
Sorry?
Forever the cameraman, aren't
mate,
you?
yeah, I can't help myself, mate. I can't help myself. Can't help myself. Yeah, what can I say? I want this to look as great as possible. And so we're looking through Enkel's eyes right now, and he's in the process of trying to defend the C point, and it looks like maybe Infused are starting to settle down and working on a B and a C hole. But you can now see that there are two members of MYM moving in towards that point. As there we go, Hadouken's coming in, catching bullets coming from MYM, and I think that was Waffy as he tried to move into that point. He's left there, and there we go. There goes Flax as he's trying to defend that B point. More members of MYM spawn out the school, and they are determined to defend that point and try and get it back off of Infused. But obviously, with that issue, with opening up the walls, opens up the entire flag area, means it's harder to take and harder to defend. So let's just wait and see what happens, as it looks like Ducky Chan got shut down. Hadouken, and let's see who the other person is who's defending this point. That's Pesty, also in there. And over here is Enkel sniffing around looking for an opportunistic kill as well. So right now it's 64 tickets to MYM, 96 tickets to Infused. And it's looking pretty good for Infused, but you're seeing a pretty hardcore push coming in from MYM in towards the B point right now, Dogbert.
Yeah, and Enkel trying to hold as long as he could. He tied down 3 guys on B, and maybe given time for Revo to go for A, but you can look at just how MYM is spread right now. It's looking pretty good for them defense-wise, but 1 or 2 kills going against them, and then they'll lose a flag, and there you go. 1 kill coming over A. I'm not sure who that is. Let's use the lovely new ability to find that out. Oh no, I'll just use tabletop, it's much easier. And that was Revo. And there you go, there's the bleed back for them. And look, they're threatening B as well. This is the best UK team right now, taking on one of the best teams, if not the best team in Europe, with 1 ringer. And they're winning. And not only winning, they're doing a great job right now.
Yeah, they are indeed. This is fantastic to watch, and great to see Infused playing so well against MYM. And, you know, it's great to see. And we're now looking at Ducky Chan, the Duckinator himself, that heavy hitter of MYM. And unfortunately, it looks like his teammate has snuffed it nearby. A lead-related injury. That was Tom going in, taking down Ducky Chan, only to be then finished off by CG Matt. So Matt now starting to move out. He's holding on to that C point. And let's see if we can find out what's going on, because it looks like now there's going to be a danger of a full domination cap here by MYM as they're starting to push in towards that C point, or the B point, as Safe gets taken down. So defensive play there by Pesty, and looks like Pesty's going to try and get in there and is defending this point for all he's worth, because it's pretty much the only one that Infused has right now, and they really need to get that bleed back into their favour. And I'm surprised I'm not seeing... Let's see, Ducky Chan now starting to make a move over towards A, Dog, but this might be an opportunity for them to get the bleed back into MYM's favour.
Well, it would if he didn't get shot in the face like that. And those spawns are coming in over at C. Oh, and that's brilliant. Like, the spawn came in, Waffy wasn't aware of it. Right behind him, 2 members of Infused. So all this pressure onto that B flag will be for nothing, because C goes straight over to the UK hope of Infused here. And right now, this is just looking so good for them. They have all the places they need. They're threatening all the flags. They have Defender at A, they're capturing B, they hold C. And right now, MYM are on the back foot here, and Infused are looking so damn strong.
They are looking very strong indeed. And getting up onto those roofs and making those all-important picks. And you can see that literally MYM are focusing most of their attention onto that B point. You can see they've won the battle there. Flax moves in. Matt also moving up as well. And that point is now in the process of being defended. And they're starting to push in towards the C point. So the thing is, what is going to happen now as far as Infused are concerned? They've got the bleed against them. They've got to try and turn it around. I would be surprised if we start to see a push going into the A point now, as they know it will be less defended. And they can also then maybe move in and close in on the members of MYM as they are trying to defend that. As a little bit of fire coming in as Pesty gets taken down by Waffy. We're looking through Waffy's eyes. We're not anymore, as Waffy gets shut down around the A point as another member of Infused kills him very quickly indeed. And that was Revo. And it looks like now we're going to have a spawn on the A point. And this is going to be the turnaround we're talking about. But it looks like Revo got taken down very quickly. As let's see who this is. This is Flax. The ever dangerous Flax. Oh, a double kill. Look at that. Safe with a beautiful double kill at the A point. That enables them to change the ownership of that point. And this could be a problem here for Infused, as their ticket numbers are starting to disappear very quickly. But it looks like they're actually committing pretty hardcore to going into the B point now, Dogbert.
Yeah, but their kills are coming in on B. It wasn't a hard fight for them. No one dropped at all in the attack. And there's the bleed once again. 13 tickets. Remember, it's only 5 tickets MYM have to drop below to lose here. And right now, Infused has got to play smart. They could play the flag game if they want. But every kill they get that isn't revived is going to be a ticket lost. And I think MYM are going to go down to the losers bracket in the UK Cup. UK too strong. And yeah, just look at that. There you go. B and C. And there's the bleed. And MYM, the EMS champions, are in the loser bracket of the ESL Razer Cup.
Indeed they are. Indeed they are. So Infused must be on pretty much of a high as far as they're concerned. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, 38 tickets in round number 2. So that will take it to a total of 43 tickets to 0 in favour of Infused. So, wow, what can you say, really? But a great start there.
Yeah, I said if Infused are going to beat MYM, they will beat them today, and they did. So, yeah, MYM, the champions of Europe and EMS, are in the loser bracket to the best UK team in Infused.
Indeed, indeed. So let's just